Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jake Rowell. I'm here up in the broadcast booth with my broadcast partner, Daniel Badler, bringing you tonight's race, the Great Lakes 130 at Michigan International Speedway. First and foremost, Daniel Badler, how you feeling today?
Oh, we're feeling pretty good, man. We're down here. This is a cutoff race, you know. A lot of guys going to, trying to get their bid for this championship, so it should be pretty interesting. Nice racy racetrack for it.
Oh, yeah, we got 65 laps here tonight at MIS. Like you just said, you know, this place is multi-groove, 4-5 lanes. I mean, we could be seeing 3-4 wide, especially with the trucks here tonight. This is going to be an all-time race, especially when you put in the fact that, you know, this is a cutoff race. You know, these guys are going to try to get themselves into that final five to have one shot at the championship next week at Texas Motor Speedway. So this is going to be sparks flying, excitement all over the place. It's going to be a great race. Can't wait to get a chance to, you know, obviously call this race with you, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to come down to, I think, what are you willing to do, man, to put yourself in that final five, you know, to have a shot at that championship. So, definitely going to be some tempers flaring, some sparks flying, as you said. So, I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely, yeah. The gloves are going to be off, and I mean, how can you say they haven't been off all season long? I mean, we've been doing this for, you know, this is going to be the 19th race of the season for the Truck Series tonight. We've got 20 weeks, so that means this and next race, that's it. Every single truck out here, man, they've got fixed setups. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is the driver behind the wheel making the difference in that truck. We've got 2 fast repairs for our drivers. So if you get into an accident early, get some damage on a restart, anything like that, you're able to come down pit lane, get it fixed up. Every single week, these drivers pay a $5 entry fee. But, man, that leads out to some nice weekly as well as season payouts, including that first place prize money of $300 to the championship winning driver.
Yeah, and I think next here, Jake, I think we're going to roll into our next installment of Matching Wits with Gerwitz here. And he's got the ultimate underdog, Robert Yost.
And yet we have another week. We are on week 6 of Matching Wits with Gerwitz, and this week we have the driver out of Team SRN, Robert Yost. Robert, how are you doing today?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Well, that's a good little opening statement there. Add some humor in it. But what is your guys' team atmosphere like over there?
It's pretty fun. We all get along. We all work together. We all pick on Taylor. We all try to stay away from Taylor. But it's a pretty good group, guys.
Yeah, I ran with a few of them last year in Mid-South Madness, and Taylor is really coming on strong at the end. I'm surprised to see him not in the playoff 10. I mean, you found your way into the top 10. You sit 13 points out. It's going to be a very uphill battle, but you guys in the trucks seem to have a very high car count, so those 13 points will most likely can be gained very quickly. What do you need to do at Michigan to gain those 13 points?
Number 1, I got to qualify. Number 2, I don't need internet problems like I did California or Kentucky. Just run my race. It's going to be uphill, you know, because all these playoff guys are so close, you know, in points that going in, I'm just going to go, you know, whatever happens. I'm not going to overpressure myself.
And that's a very good mentality. I mean, some of these guys, they take it serious, but I mean, there's quite a bit of money up for grabs, so sometimes you got to take it serious, but you got 2 top 10s on the year. It's not many compared to the other playoff guys, but I think you can make those 13 up and surprise everybody and get in the top 5.
We're going to flip a coin, and it's all about luck, and it's all a gamble right now.
And you hit it on the hail. It's all about luck. And you just got to kind of just be at the right place at the right time, and you can find yourself in victory lane, especially at a track like Michigan where it's very wide, multiple grooves. The drafting plays a huge factor in it. I mean, and are you looking forward to season 2 in the later half of the summer this season?
Yeah, we got some things in the works. I think we're going to go to 3 trucks. We're going to still stay with SRN and R&D support, but I think we're going to branch out. I think Bobby Anderson's going to run R&D, Corey Knight's going to run SRN, and I'm going to run the 3rd team.
And Bobby Anderson there is another good driver. He's also in the playoff field sets an our driver you're going to have to beat. Well, I mean, if you play your cards right, you might find yourself in the top 5.
Yeah, practice last night was pretty fun. We were pretty quick. We got taken out on lap 2. Truck got loose, just race incident. But yeah, my confidence is pretty high. We'll see what we do.
And brings up to my last question here. How did you get your start in iRacing?
Do you want the honest answer or fake answer, Aaron?
The honest answer.
I was going through a divorce. I was trying to get my ex-wife out of the house as quick as possible.
Oh,
That's the truth.
And that is a very good response there. I mean, most of us have girlfriends, wives, whatever, and it's kind of a burden, but you find a good one when they stick right by you through all this.
Yeah, mine's actually in the kitchen making me spaghetti right now. So
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Robert Yost, and this is week 6 of Matching Wits with Gerwitz.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's another segment of Matching Wits with Gerwitz with Rob Yost, the ultimate underdog here in the Speed Racing Network, especially obviously in the truck series. So, gotta love, some good laughs there. Robert Yost is a great guy, and not surprised by the interview you got there with Aaron Gerwitz. So, but yeah, we're gonna move on along with the show here, and we're gonna get you these race payouts tonight, Daniel. First place is gonna bring home $25. So, able to put in $5, come out of here with 25. Then you look all the way down this list. I mean, 5th, 6th, and 7th, they're able to walk away with their money. So, what other league do you know of that really has that, opportunity for these drivers?
Yeah, great opportunities, out here. You get 7th place and, you race for free and had a chance to go for a little bit more. So definitely worth it. But, other than these race payouts, we have the season-long payouts that we have here. And that's going to be for our season-long championship. Is first place is going to take home $300. Second place is going to be $150. Third with $100. Fourth with $75, and fifth going to come home with $50, and as well as our team championship, which is going to be $100 to the winning team.
Yeah, I mean that right there. I mean that's already locked up, I believe, by Rev Racing. So they're able to walk away already with $100. Split that up with their team. So not only is it based upon the individual drivers, but as well that team championship. But another thing that Speed Racing gives out is going to be the butt kicker, the clean driver award, which is given out to the driver with the least amount of incidents per lap. So right now, Cole Martin and Corey Saucy are tooth, right there with one another. It's going to be a battle to the end of it. And again, if you aren't able to win it here in the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, or the Cup Series, you can go ahead and use our discount code, which you see at the bottom of your screen. That's going to be SRNVS20. Save yourself 20% off that order.
Yeah, Jake, and if you're having trouble being a clean driver, you might be interested in our next slide. We're going to have Kane Cook coaching sessions. So if you're on iRacing and you're struggling, or, if you're one of those guys that just needs to get to that next level, you get a hold of Kane here and set up your coaching sessions. You can go on to speedracingnetwork.com and book your session today. Kane's known for the Hard Charger Award. That's where you make up the most positions per race. So definitely a guy, if you're looking to be moving up through the standings, that you want to get a hold of. Definitely.
Always heard great things about that. I know you've been in them. Dean Brummett's been in them. A couple guys obviously we hang out with quite a bit. Always hear really good things about that. So check out our website. You can do one-on-ones with them, duos, as well as a group setting. So if you got a team like any of our teams here in Speed Racing Network, or even if you're outside of Speed Racing Network, feel free to check it out. Get yourself booked into one of Kane's sessions.
Yeah, and moving on, we're going to take a look here at our team standings, I believe, are next, and that's going to be Rev Racing, like we talked about earlier, leading the way there. Don't believe they have it locked up yet, but definitely is looking like it here moving forward if they have a good race. Jonathan Byers going to be sitting here in second place. Almost got that first win for those guys last week, just a heartbreaker, but and then you got the rest of this list here that out for now, but definitely had good seasons between all these teams.
Definitely, and leading into that point right there of guys that might not have had the greatest start to the regular season, they're able to come back here, in the playoffs and run for another playoff, the second tier playoffs. That's going to be brought to you by Flavor Bomb. You can make sure you check them out on their website, fbbq.com. Great seasonings, things like that for any sort of grilling, cooking, anything like that. Check them out. But you see, we've got another tier of playoffs, obviously, where these guys are able to come in here, race with the other drivers that are battling for the first form of the playoffs. So we've got two battles within itself out on the track each and every week so far in the playoffs, and I think it's just kind of added a little something extra, a little spice to the races. So you see Vincent Cortez, he's got a 31-point lead over Jason Cracky. Michael York's hanging in there, and some other guys have kind of fallen off right here. But it's just again another opportunity here at Speed Racing Network that we provide for guys to have that opportunity to go out each and every week and still be able to race for something. I just think you don't really see that much other places on iRacing and in other leagues.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things going on here throughout the whole field. But moving on here, we're going to take a look at these are the guys that we're watching tonight. Excuse me. The playoff standings here, Cole Martin up there in a very, very familiar position where we've seen him all season long, and Corey Saucier, not letting him get too far ahead, and Michael Madden up there in the top three where we've seen him all season. Brandon Domain and Matthew Johnson are holding on to the last two remaining spots inside the top five, but there's six other guys there down below these looking to make their way in, so gonna definitely be a really interesting night.
Oh yeah, and for a lot of these guys, even though it's a cutoff race, there is a ton of drivers out here for this race tonight at Michigan International Speedway. So anything's possible. Some guys could have some bad luck that are fifth on up, and you could see some names in that orange color get themselves into that top five. Who knows? We could have another tie like we saw from the previous round, which made us have 11 drivers instead of obviously the top 10 moving on. So you just never know until that final checker flag waves tonight, who's going to be in that final race at Texas Motor Speedway next week for the championship. And obviously first, again, Daniel, like we said there, Cole Martin, man, he's been hot all season long, got 4 regular season wins, 3 in the playoffs, driving for Roel Smith Racing. He's got 7 of the last 10 races. He's come out here and won in the Truck Series. I mean, that is just, pretty impressive when you think about it. So, again, and then out of the 18 races so far, Michael Mann is the only other driver that's got more top 5s than Cole Martin right now. So, that's always something to watch out for, especially next week at, Texas, guys that are able to finish up front. So, Cole's always out front leading a ton of laps. He's having it his way. He's led 1,600 laps in the Truck Series this season. So, very, very impressive. That's, it's basically 40% of every single lap we've run. So this dude is up front, leading races, in control. Like we mentioned earlier, he's basically tied for the butt kicker clean driver award as well. And honestly, here at Michigan, he's been putting in a ton of time and effort this week practicing. I don't expect anything else but a podium here tonight.
Yeah, and moving on here to our second place drivers, Corey Saucier. You talked about tied for the butt kicker clean driver award. Well, Corey is that other driver that's tied for it, and he's had a up and down sort of season, I guess you could say, but yet still very consistent for Corey. Just ran into some bad luck here and there, but in the middle of the season, he won back to back. Coming at some mid-length tracks, that's kind of where we're at, maybe a little bit longer than that, but they still race the same. And if you watch the trends with Corey, he's had a 4th place finish, a 3rd place finish, and a 2nd place finish. So if that trend continues, we could see him pulling that thing into victory lane tonight.
Definitely. And, our third driver here on this list is going to be that 15 truck of Michael Madden. Michael, Corey Saucier, Cole Martin, it's been a tale of these 3 drivers all season long here. Obviously, Cole Martin has dominated kind of the latter half of the season. Corey Saucier was really dominant in the middle section, winning 3 races in a row. And Michael Madden, coming out, winning the first 2 races of the season as well. So these guys have been up front all season long, kind of in charge of the Truck Series, so to speak. And, the only difference right now between these guys is the fact that they've got different averaging finishing positions. And yeah, Cole Martin has 7 wins. Corey Saucier has 3 wins, just like Michael. But Michael Madden averages a 6th place finish on the season, as opposed to those other 2 drivers who are averaging a 9th place. So it might not sound like a lot, but 3 positions. If the stats stay true to themselves next week at Texas, that's pretty hard to make up. For Cole and Corey to be able to make up 3 spots on them next week at Texas.
Yeah, moving to 4th place here, we got Brandon Domain. Brandon's had one of those quiet seasons, just finishing strong, not making very many mistakes. He's the only driver that's averaging a top 10 finish throughout this entire season. But a lot of people don't think of Brandon here because he's never had that win. So could be watching for that tonight. That could come. You never know with him. He's always up towards the front. I think tonight he needs to finish 3rd to guarantee his spot. So very capable of that. But I think if he keeps the truck pointed in the right direction tonight and keeps the fenders on it, he should probably be just fine moving forward to make the final round of 5. So be watching for him here in these next 2 weeks to try and punch that win column.
Definitely. And, obviously this next driver, Brandon Domain, kind of copying Matt Johnson, what we saw last season, familiar territory, kind of snuck his way into the playoffs, quietly advanced themselves on round by round. And here we are with 1 race to go. And Matt Johnson's trying to sneak his way into that championship 5. He's kind of been doing the same thing. He was on the cut line once again. Obviously here tonight he's in 5th, so he's got to stay there. He'll have to finish better than his 38th place finish at the other 2-mile track, which was Auto Club Speedway out in California, to be able to have a shot at his 2nd straight championship appearance. But again, historically, why do you bet against this guy that is just kind of that underdog? Kind of laying back in the weeds, letting the big dogs bark. And here's Matt Johnson ready to pounce on what could be another opportunity to go out here and get a championship.
Yeah, now looking at 6th place here is Bobby Anderson, the first driver outside of the cut. He's only 2 points back, so feeling a little bit of that pressure, but not too much just yet. 2 points is definitely doable for him. He's had back-to-back top 10s. A top 5 would probably be nice for him tonight. He's had his only top 5 was a few weeks ago at Kansas, so he can definitely get it done. Look for him to be pushing hard, trying to get his way up towards the front. And actually earlier this year at Auto Club, the track very similar to this, he finished 8th. So if he can improve on what he did a little bit earlier this season, look for him to be trying to make his way into this top 5.
Definitely. Another guy, he's got the speed, got the ability to be in that final 5. That's Kyle Wimble. These guys, he's 5 points outside the cut. Sorry, he kind of needs a little bit of help. Besides himself being able to perform really well here tonight, kind of going to need some trouble from other guys ahead of him in the standings. But that's really not a lot to ask for when you got a field this size. So, for Kyle, it's just being all about consistency. He's gotten a couple top 5s in the past 3 races. So again, I spoke on it. He's got the talent to be up front, leading laps, battling for top 5s, things like that. He's just got to, make sure he puts himself in, the situations and the spots on track to make sure he doesn't get wiped out by a wreck or get any sort of damage if this thing kind of goes on a long green flag run. Don't get into that outside wall. That way you're not hurting your truck if it goes on a long run. So I think Kyle Wimble, he's 5 points out, like I said, but I really think this is possible. He finished 3rd last week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So I think if he kind of has that, night tonight, at the end of the day, you just kind of got to see where everyone else falls. And at, that point, if you're Kyle, at least, deep down inside, you're able to, be comfortable with what you were able to perform here tonight at Michigan.
Yeah, and moving on here, Jack Johnson's sitting in 8th. He's going to be 9 points back from the cut line. It's going to be a hard night for him. He's battling teammates to get in. He's going to have a good night and a good solid finish and maybe a little bit of help from some other people having some trouble. Definitely,
and 9th is going to be Rob Yost again, that ultimate underdog. He's 13 points out of the cut. He's got to get through 4 other drivers to be able to make this thing. That's a tall order for Rob, but could he pull it off? Yes. He's just going to need a lot of momentum for himself and magic to be able to make that happen here at MIS.
Yeah, and back here with Josh Mueller sitting in 10th, he's going to be looking for a really strong night tonight. Probably going to have to win, lead some laps, and hope for some trouble with some other drivers as well.
Yeah, and our 11th driver, Byron McDonald's got himself way out in points, had some issues, I believe it was a week ago, if not 2 weeks ago. So this dude needs a Hail Mary. He's 21 points out of this thing, so if there's a miracle, Byron McDonald right now is going to be that driver that needs that.
Yeah, and as we take a look here, the trucks are getting all lined up and ready to go here tonight, and Cole Martin sitting it on the pole, so right there where we know him. But don't look now, Jake. Look at second place. There he is, the ultimate underdog himself, Robert Yost, qualifying second tonight.
Definitely. In third place, man, that's Brandon Domain. One of those drivers who's just kind of, always up front, very clean, very consistent. Fourth place going to be Michael York, Cole Martin's teammate at RSR. Fifth place, Bobby Anderson. Again, a driver who's 2 points on the outside looking in. Starting fifth right here, going to, really help his cause going into this thing.
And back here in 7th place, we got Evan Scott, an independent driver. Josh Mueller starting 8th. 9th is going to be James Kerr from Jonathan Byer Racing. 10th is going to be Vincent Cortez from Tank Racing. 11th is our second place points series contender, Corey Saucier for R&D Motorsports, and Jonathan Byer back here, obviously for Jonathan Byer Racing, in 12th.
Yeah, and want to shout out 6th place going to be Kyle Wimble. We skipped over him, so Kyle Wimble, again, he's 5 points out. Same thing as Bobby Anderson. They're starting up front, up in the top 10. That's really, really good for their chances to be able to get as many points as possible, to leave it in the hands of those other guys that, they kind of need a little bad luck for those guys, for themselves to work it in, to be able to get into that final 5. So, Daniel, we like to make picks up here. I'll let you go first. Who you got tonight here for the Great Lakes 150?
Oh, man, it's been a while since I've had to do some of these picks. Obviously I think the easiest pick that a guy could make would be Cole Martin, as we've seen him, just dominate races lately, sitting on the pole again. But man, I'm gonna go a little bit further back. I think he shows back up tonight. I'm gonna take the 3 truck and Corey Saucier. I think he bounces back and tries to show these guys where he belongs. Yeah,
I like that one a lot. I'm going to go with that 3rd place driver starting P3. It's going to be that 20 truck, one of our broadcast partners who does Xfinity as well as the Cup Series. Brandon Domain, what a statement it would mean for him to win this race, before heading into the Texas for that championship race. So watch out for that 20 car, showing a lot of speed in qualifying. We'll see if he can pull it off.
Yeah, and here we go. Cole Martin's going to bring him down and get ready to get this race underway for Speed Racing Network Truck Series tonight, and Cole Martin is off.
Yeah, Cole Martin got a really good restart. We got a little bit of wrecking. Yellow flag's going to be already out behind the field. Walt Lepicki, the 10 truck, looks to be in the infield grass there. Matt Johnson, I believe, is involved. Daniel Bowdler. So that's a playoff driver right there in the 61 car.
Yeah, playoff implications coming out really early in this race. Thank goodness for the fast repair. So hopefully, Matthew can get one of those used and get this truck pointing back in the right direction, but gonna have to be careful moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna check this out though on a Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay. So you see these 2 drivers, I believe they started side by side. That's Matt Johnson on the outside in that gray truck with the yellow R on the hood in the 61, and Walt Lepicki to his inside here. Oh, kind of just
the field
there. Huge checkup. Yep. You saw, I'm not sure who it was behind Matt that, got into his rear bumper, and that's what sent him to the inside, collecting Walt Lepicki. So it's just these restarts, man. Some guys trying to get a little jump, things like that, and, the rest is history here for that 61.
Makes you wonder if somebody missed a shift there and just checked up and nowhere for some of those guys to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, for Matt Johnson, obviously he's that playoff driver. It's lap 1. I got to imagine he has to use that fast repair, but man, is that really, really early to have to use that. I mean, we're on lap 1 of 65. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, he's going to have to try and keep the frustration in check. I know it's going to be frustrating for him, but got to keep your nose to the grindstone here and get this race actually started and just make your way to the front. We know he knows how.
Definitely, and looks like we just had a little trouble. Obviously, that really, really early yellow kind of throws a loop for iRacing. That's why you saw these drivers stopped on track, waiting for the pace truck, and you'll see them now get lined back up behind them. So Cole Martin going to be in the lead, kind of where we've seen him, these last 10, 11 races, Daniel. I know you dropped down to some Truck Series races. This is kind of the spot we've been accustomed to see this 51 truck.
Yeah, I don't know that we've seen him very far back in the pack, unless it was on some pit cycles that he gets cycled to the back. And, once in a while we see him have a little bit of trouble, but he sure does not sit around in the back for very long. He's usually up front leading these things. Definitely.
And, you got to imagine if you're the 92, Rob Yost kind of, obviously as we're waiting for this yellow to get figured out here, he likes to really hang out in the back of the pack early on in these races, let guys kind of take themselves out of the, race by getting involved in wrecks, things like that. But he knows it's go time here tonight. He's on the outside looking in, trying to make up a huge gap on some of these guys in front of him. It's good to see him up front where obviously he's got the speed to beat. It's just a matter of being able to keep, that truck clean up front all race long. I mean, you just never know if you're Rob Yost. It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, kind of some uncharted territory for him here. Going to be interesting to see, how that works. Does he keep it up here? Does he fall back to where he's a little more comfortable? Or I'd like to see him get up here, and I'd like to see him challenge Cole for the lead here. Somebody new. Cole's not used to being up here, and see what he's got. We said he's got to pull off a miracle here to get into the playoffs, and so far off to a good start.
Yeah, exactly, and it'd be huge for him to lead a lap because that's just one extra bonus point, and it's going to kind of be able to make that gap 1 point less, and you just never know. It's what we've seen with Bobby Anderson at Richmond, able to lead a lap under yellow, and it ended up getting him into the next round. So, it's early. We're only in lap 3 under yellow right now, so you just never know how this thing's going to pan out. And this thing could turn into a fuel strategy race, kind of like what happened last week, where a driver going into turn 3 ran out of fuel, and the win was kind of just handed to Cole on a silver platter. So that could happen to any one of these drivers here on track.
Yeah, it definitely could. Looking back through the rest of the field here, just to see where some guys, qualified tonight. Michael Madden, I believe, qualified clear back in the 19th position was where he qualified. So be watching for him. He's one of our playoff drivers. Let's see if he can make it up here towards the front.
Absolutely. And here we go. We're going to have a single file restart here once we get this green flag. It looks like we're going to get the yellow thrown, though, by an admin due to complications here with that, really, really early yellow flag. And let iRacing get this thing sorted out once again. See the pace truck coming through the wall, through the grass there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were having some problems with the pace truck picking up certain people and not picking up the right ones. But the admins are going to work on it, try to get this thing all fixed up and get everyone lined up the right way.
Yeah, and this is obviously it's virtual, it's not the real deal, in real life. So these are the type of things that can happen. Obviously, we'll get back to green flag racing, hopefully more than a couple hundred yards once this gets all figured out here. But again, it's, this track, Daniel, we were just practicing here. It should provide a really, really good race. Going forward here tonight, tomorrow, and Xfinity as well, Sunday night for the Cup Series.
Yeah, no doubt. We get these guys going green here, and I think they're going to put on a pretty good show for us. Just having a little bit of trouble here with iRacing, like you said, we're we're on computers. Nothing's going to be perfect here, as it looks like it's definitely still giving them some trouble. But like you were saying, this track provides some really good racing. That practice we were doing a little bit earlier before this race started, we were able to make some big runs on each other, and there's a lot of racetrack to try to use those runs, and it should be a very racy racetrack for these guys.
Yeah, and we see again the complications continuing here, but we could see 3, 4, who knows, 5 wide. This is a cutoff race. What are guys willing to do? Like we were talking about earlier. Personally, if I'm one of these guys on the outside, and in the back of my mind, I know I need a couple more spots. It's the white flag. What do you do going into turn 3 if you got 3 or 4 trucks in front of you? Do you really send it in, hoping to get those points? It's just going to be insane to watch. Obviously here tonight, being able to call this race.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this is one of those tracks that I believe was supposed to be the multi-groove racing that iRacing released. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys search around the racetrack to find these different lines and different grip levels to try and get an advantage on some of their competitors. But yet, still at the same time, you got to be saving those tires.
Definitely, and especially with just the crazy amount of draft these trucks give off. It really almost is like we're riding around here. It's Talladega, Daytona. It's like a super speedway in the trucks. You just, like you said, you get all this tire fall off, so it kind of puts it more so into the driver's hands compared to Daytona or Talladega. So this is this is one of my more favorite tracks here on iRacing. So I'm looking forward to what we got here tonight.
Wow, that's just because you're a hometown boy, isn't it? I mean, this is your track. No wonder it's going to be your favorite, man.
Yeah, I grew up about an hour and 15 away from the track. Went out here countless number of times before then. Used to work here at the track before I moved down here to Charlotte, North Carolina. So yeah, this is home cooking, as Brandon Domain called it Sunday night or Monday night on the broadcast for the Cup Series. So, but yeah. I think we've gotten the one to go. It looks like on the pace truck. Don't see the lights on. So this time by, fans, it's been a little bit of a wait here, but we're going to be getting back going green flag racing here this time by.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job here getting everybody lined back up. It sounds like some of the drivers are still having a little bit of some confusion out there, but the admins are definitely telling them we are going green this time for sure. So, strap them belts tight because we're going to get after it.
Definitely. It's go time. Kind of wonder what this does for the fuel strategy. Obviously having, it's going to be the completion of 7 laps here tonight under yellow. So kind of, maybe this kind of helps, eliminate possibly one stop. I don't know what a full fuel run would be here. It's just something to keep an eye out on, if this thing does go green flag for quite a while, like, you could see it here at Michigan International Speedway.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody was playing the fuel strategy there with all these laps we've had, where they shut the truck off and trying to save some fuel. But we'll find out later as the pace truck's going to dive off.
Yeah, pace truck's off. It's going to be in Cole Martin's hand. He's going to go very early, try to break away from the field. That way they can't really pull up to him. You see Rob Yost in second trying to get going. Then you see Michael York there in that red, white, and blue truck. Colt's teammates, so it makes you wonder if those two kind of get together. They start working together, kind of work the draft, kind of pull away from the rest of the field. It's, something you can really do here, especially in the trucks if you're, just pushing each other down the straightaways and giving a little bit of room in the corners. That way when you come out of the corners, you're hooked up bumper to bumper again down the straightaway.
Yeah, and you can see that draft working down the backstretch as Robert Yost is going to look inside the 51 truck here of Cole Martin. Is he going to get him cleared coming off of 4? I believe he is. Robert Yost going to take the lead out of 4, going to come across and get that very important bonus point for leading a lap here, Jake.
Yeah, that ever so important lap led by the 92. It's going to be 1 point to his name, so, that's something to keep write down for a little mental note to be able to remember later on in this race when we start kind of crunching the numbers. Kind of shocked, though. Cole Martin obviously on pole. Rob Yost pulling away a little bit through 1 and 2. Cole was on the high side. Surprised it kind of didn't pull them back up side by side. But Cole Martin going to try to make a move here to the inside and try to get back up into the lead with his teammate right behind him in that 81 truck.
Yeah, interesting to see these guys getting down there on the very bottom lane there in the corners. This progressive banking here, there's actually substantially less banking, it feels like, down there on the very bottom lane. It makes for a little bit of a weird transition up off the corners when you're down on that. Is actually you can see the truck wiggle as Robert gets down there onto that lower banking and actually swings the truck out a lot wider to the wall when he comes back up off of it.
Definitely, and you see these two side by side. Brandon Domain looking to the inside of Michael York. That's the 91 truck behind him. That's going to be Kyle Wimble, another driver on the outside like Robert Yost, who's leading this thing and starting to pull away from Cole Martin. These guys need these runs, so you got to make sure you don't let Robert Yost start pulling away with all this side by side action behind him, because right now he is driving away from the field a little bit out to a half a second lead, which is pretty impressive with how strong the draft is here at Michigan International Speedway. We see Cole Martin under attack on the high side. The 20 truck of Brandon Domain working the high side, going to get a huge run down the back stretch. Clears Cole Martin as they're halfway down the back going into turn 3. Be interesting to see if Brandon Domain can't march up there and try to lead a lap just like Robert Yost did. We got a wreck in the middle of 3.
Couldn't hold on to it up into the outside wall there. I believe that's Vincent Cortez is involved.
Yeah, Vincent Cortez. I think Jack Johnson we saw involved. Oh, man. I believe that was Vincent Cortez right there in the 69. It's hard to read the numbers on that truck, but you saw him had to take the tow. That is not what you want to see if you're a Vincent Cortez fan, early on having a tow and definitely going to lose a lap here.
Yeah, as we're going to get a Sandwich Man Racing and Sports Memorabilia rec replay here. Looked like maybe a little bit of contact there with Josh Mueller.
Yeah, it looked like Josh Mueller was to the inside of Cortez, and they kind of just went for the same spot, following the trucks behind them, and that's what sent these two guys spinning. Looks like the 75 of James Kerr was involved. The 35, like we said, Jack Johnson involved in that. So that's 4 trucks. 2 of those in the playoff with Josh Mueller and
Michael Madden
Vincent Cortez in the second tier. I'm sorry.
Interesting to see if he did get any damage from that or not. Very close call for him.
And you can see just right there pulling up to the truck behind him, and it's tough to see, but then in the corner of the windshield you see the wreck happening, but there's so much smoke. Tries to go up high, and there's a truck sitting there. What a good job missing.
Good move.
I believe that was Cortez coming down off the wall.
Yeah, big move there for Michael to avoid that wreck.
And we got some drivers that decided to stay out. Looks like 4 trucks stayed out, and then looks like it was Cole Martin, leading the way down pit lane, to come down pit lane, get some tires and fuel. So a little bit of differing strategy, Daniel. If you're one of these guys that stay out, 4 guys stay out, and then you got the whole field behind you on fresh tires. How does that make you feel?
Unsettled. Very unsettled. Tires are going to be big here, I think, especially as we get a few more laps on them. I think you're going to see the difference definitely show up. It's going to be hard for Robert to hold those guys off, but luckily he has 3 more guys behind him to try and hold him off.
Definitely, and I got to imagine, Cole Martin, and these guys on these new tires. Michael Mann going to be behind them. Wonder if he took 2 tires on that pit stop. I got to imagine these new tires are going to, fly by these guys that stayed out.
Yeah, I think we're getting that confirmed that Michael did take 2 tires, so making up some of that track position, and we'll see what this does, if them 2 tires are going to work, or if he begins to fall back here after a few laps in this run.
Definitely, and you got to remember too, Bowler, a ton of these laps obviously were under yellow flag, so it's not a bad strategy at all. Just it'll be interesting how with 2 kind of worn tires, 2 new ones, how it handles here early on. But I think it's early enough for him to try this to be able to know, at the end of the race if that would help him, have a shot at winning this thing.
Yeah, and he's definitely in a safe position points wise to be, trying something like this early in a race, figure out if it works, and it's going to be interesting. I haven't heard of anybody taking 2 tires versus 4 here. I guess haven't had too many races, so we're gonna learn together, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, though, Rob Yost was starting to pull away, so obviously there's still speed in those older tires. It's just a matter of, do these fresher tires on a restart really pay off, that much more, being able to, get through, the corners, turns 1 and 2 the first time, and 3 and 4, kind of at full speed as opposed to the older tires. So we will see, though. But I tell you, Rob Yost, man, he's got to be smiling ear to ear right now, leading this thing, knowing, he's got quite a few laps left, but he's got to be pretty pumped up if he finishes this thing where he's at right now. What that could do for him in the playoff standings.
Yeah, I mean, he's out here doing what he has to do to make it in this final 5. So give him credit where credit's due. He's going to bring the field back to the start-finish line here as the leader. Some fresh tires behind him, but he's going to take off really early and get this race back to green. Jumps out to a nice little lead.
Yeah, little lead is right, and then you got Brandon Domain in second place in that 20 truck. Evan Scott in the 48 behind him, and then they're 2 wide for 4th. Cole Martin went from 6th to 4th before they even got into turn 1 there. So those new tires are definitely they're coming quick. And we'll see what Cole can do down the back straightaway and through 3 and 4. I think this is where you're really going to see, if these new tires have an advantage on these older tires. As you see Cole go to the inside, Robert Yost going to be side by side with Brandon Domain through 3 and 4. Wonder if Brandon's going to get a run. Robert Yost going to close the door. Gets a little tag from the 20 truck. They're going to be 3 wide, though, Daniel.
Nice save there by Robert Yost, 3 wide, like you said, coming across the start-finish line. I believe Cole Martin led that lap. Robert Yost stuck in the middle here, not where you want to be. He's going to fall all the way back to 5th or 6th here, I believe.
I tell you what, though, that 20 truck hanging pretty tough on the outside with the older tires. Going to get a run on Cole Martin with those, newer tires. And here comes the 48.
Robert Yost gets into, I believe that was Kyle Wimble.
Wow, and able to come back up onto the track and save it. Blending really well with the field. Man, this is some good race right here, buddy.
Yeah, there's a lot of action going on. We're almost 3 wide back here, a little further back, but Brandon Domain out front with them older tires. Evan Scott behind him with the older tires. I'm not sure, I don't remember. Byron McDonald, he may still be on those older tires too, so Cole Martin with those fresh tires is still sitting in 4th place right now.
Yeah, I believe Byron was the last guy to stay out. Like you said, he's going to try to make a move here on P2 of Evan Scott as they go into turns 3 and 4. Byron going to go to the high side. Evan Scott's going to go all the way down to the yellow line to the inside of Brandon Domain. They're going to be 2 wide out of turn 4. Byron McDonald's going to be all over the rear bumper. That 20, he's going to make it 3 wide down the front stretch here at Michigan International Speedway. Now they're 2 wide as the 20 truck clears the 48. And now the 48 kind of falls in line to get back up there and try to make a move on the leaders.
Yeah, these leaders are still running 2 wide. Byron McDonald's going to look to the outside. But if you look back there, that green truck, he's still there. Robert Yost is going to be trying to look to the inside of Cole Martin here as we go down the backstretch.
Yeah, he's going to be under attack, though, by the 61 of Matt Johnson, who got a heck of a run out of turn 2 underneath Robert Yost. But Rob kind of, throws, gentlemanly block kind of cut off the run the 61 had. That's going to let Michael York get to the inside of Robert Yost. James Kerr around. That's going to definitely bring out the yellow flag here. Not sure who that green and gray truck was that he got turned down into, but those two made huge contact on the inside of the track, and obviously the yellow flag is out once again for the 3rd time here at the Great Lakes 130.
Yeah, and we're going to get another Sandwich Man Racing and Sports Memorabilia rec replay here.
And we'll go on board here. I believe it's the 33 of Nathan Nixon in that green and
3 wide here.
White truck here. Gets into the left rear quarter panel of 75. And unfortunately, James Kerr kind of went around and collected a couple other trucks. You see all these guys behind the pack, trying to avoid the wreck because he's just kind of spinning like a top. And it's, where do you go? You kind of just have to pick and hope you make it through it. And fortunately enough, for a lot of these guys. They miss it. Michael Madden,
Another
almost
close call for
involved.
Michael Madden.
Yeah, and I think Kerr got into his teammate though, Kyle Wimble, when he was starting to slide to the inside. So I wonder if Kyle Wimble in the 91's got a little bit of damage from that accident. So I think this is just guys on restarts. With the package these trucks have, Daniel, that it just creates this tight quarter racing. Coming out of these corners, you got to go with all your momentum. That's how you're going to make passes here on these long straightaways.
Yeah, you got to go with the momentum. You hate to give up those runs because then the next thing you know, you're under attack from behind. So as we look here with pit stops, we got several guys pitting, several guys staying out, so some differing strategies going on. Byron McDonald, Evan Scott going to be out there yet with these older tires, but I believe if you saw that correctly, Robert Yost has went in and got his tires, so we'll see how far back he has to restart and see if he can get back up here into this battle.
Definitely, and you saw that car flying by. If you're a Vincent Cortez fan, that was him getting a lucky dog. So he'll be back on the lead lap. So the 69 truck of Vincent Cortez, who we saw, have to tow after, having a damaged vehicle. He towed, obviously got a fast repair. One of his two were used, and now he's back on the lead lap.
Yeah, going to be big for him. See if he can get his race restarted here and get moving up to the front. We usually see him up here in the front battling for these at the end of these races. So good for him. Get back on the lead lap and maybe get back up here.
Definitely, and I believe from Race Chatter, I'm hearing that Byron McDonald's going to choose the outside lane for this restart. That's going to be awesome to see, kind of what that outside line does. These leaders and these guys, if they're up front, what they do later on in the races will kind of be a little bit of a test for that outside line. So the 23 truck's going to be the leader, but he'll be on the outside of Evan Scott, the 48 truck. Then you got two teammates in that second row. That's going to be Cole Martin and Michael York. 5th and 6th going to be Bobby Anderson and Corey Saucier. 7th place going to be Kevin Winker. 8th is Jeremy Duncan. Brandon Domain, the first guy I believe that went down pit lane. It's going to be 9th, and Matt Johnson in the 61 truck going to be rounding out our top 10.
Yeah, and I believe if we wait here for the ticker to turn back over, there he is. Robert Yost going to start 11th. Michael Madden back to 12th. And our last playoff driver, Kyle, well, not our last playoff driver, but our next playoff driver closest to the front is going to be in 13th.
Definitely. And for these guys that are starting back there, 10th, 11th place, it's not impossible to get up, a lot of spots. Our leader right now, Byron McDonald, started this race in 24th, and he's in the lead. Currently in 7th. Kevin Winker started 23rd. He's in 7th. Matt Johnson started 20th, and he's in 10th. So just shows you, this track, the multiple grooves it provides for these drivers. You can make up a ton of time and a ton of spots, going around the outside of guys, diving to the inside. So, passing is something we're going to see a lot of here tonight in the Truck Series.
Yeah, a lot of room. And I believe, Jake, we're getting reports that Byron McDonald's racing on a laptop. So shades of Dean Brummett a little bit back when he had his COVID scare and racing on a laptop.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Byron McDonald's going to get one heck of a jump on the outside. He's going to clear himself. Michael York, who started 4th, is going to get clear of Evan Scott. And Corey Saucier are going to be able to, get side by side with Evan Scott, who started 2nd. So the outside really getting a huge roll. The top 5's kind of breaking away from the rest of the pack. But Byron McDonald right now, starting to drive away again.
Yeah, he's going to pull away as we look a little further back in the pack, man. These guys are fanning out, going crazy. We got 3, almost 4 wide down the back here. As we got 3 wide going into 3 here, almost 2 rows deep. Michael Madden going to be stuck in the middle, and Robert Yost just waiting for a place to go through.
Definitely, and you got to be patient if you're these guys on tires. You don't want to force anything to be able to get yourself in an accident like we've seen. But here we go, 3 wide into turn 1. I believe that's Nathan Nixon on the outside.
Yeah, Nathan Nixon up there on the outside trying to make that outside line work. Robert Yost down on the bottom trying to make the bottom work, and Corey Knight stuck in the middle. I believe that was Corey Knight anyway there in the 90. But back up front, Corey Saucier, he's caught Byron McDonald. He's going to try to make them fresh tires work as he looks to the inside here.
Yeah, he's going to get a good run off of 4. Going to try to side draft him down this long front straightaway. And here we go. They're going to be side by side. Byron McDonald, though, should kind of have the better lane. We've kind of seen that, middle lane up or high side kind of be able to get big runs off the top, coming down the back stretch out of turn 2. But if Corey's able to clear him and kind of move up in front of him, that could kind of stall out the run that Byron's going to get down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and Corey's going to get him cleared here. I think what you're going to start to see here, Jake, is yes, the top's going to be there. It's going to be the place where when you're on those old tires that you got to make it work. But I think you're just seeing the difference in those old tires really starting to come through as Byron's going to lose the lead here. And you look, Evan Scott has really started to fall back.
Yeah, he definitely has. Like you said, tires are king right now. I think even if you got a few laps, if a yellow comes out, I just... you don't want this thing to go on a long run, because if you stay out, it's really going to hurt you, which is pretty evident, like you said, with the 48. But the 81 and the 51 of Michael York and Cole Martin are getting eaten up here. They're getting 3 trucks coming around them to the inside. Here comes another in the 42 truck. This is just that difference of speed you're able to carry off these corners when you got those new tires. They're going to be 3 wide going into turn 3 and 4 here. 2 rows deep.
3 wide, 2 rows deep. And we're looking with 3 more trucks sitting back there behind them looking for a place to come through this. Look at all these racing lines.
Oh, yeah, they're all licking their chops at how racy it is and, where you can go with your truck. I mean, they're 3 wide for 3 lanes.
Michael Madden's going to get stuck in the fence there. Really close to wrecking behind him.
Big wreck, Taylor Smith. There was another truck in front of those 2, and the yellow flag's going to be out for the 4th time tonight.
Not a good day for Kyle Wimble. One of our playoff hopefuls, really struggling tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult there. Going to have to use a fast repair early here. We're on lap 26 to 65. Again, bringing you another Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Wreck replay. Make sure you check them out on Shopify. They've got awesome die-cast hats and T-shirts. But here we go. Down the front stretch, they were 3 wide. You see Michael Mann and Jeremy Duncan kind of touch and get into one another. Kind of makes you wonder if these guys were checking up a little bit, making sure nothing more was going to happen. And that's where you see the 91 get a little bit of contact from the truck behind him, which was Sean Kozier sending the 91 around. And then Taylor Smith involved as well.
It just looked like the 97 there got in a little bit deeper than he was hoping. Actually did have a little bit of contact, sent him up there into the 91 truck, and Taylor Smith just nowhere to go for him.
Yeah, it was just when you're 3 wide, diving into turn 1, going the speeds they're going. A little bit of a movement by the wheel can be all the difference, and that is what happened here. As you see these trucks get involved up onto the outside wall. Hopefully Taylor Smith able to, slowly make his way around and get to pit lane and able to use a fast repair. As we see the 91 in pit lane right now getting tires. I'm sure he had to use a fast repair, but these leaders coming down pit lane right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see, as we watch that replay. Just ahead of that, we watched Michael Mann get squeezed into the outside wall. So how much damage he has, we don't know just yet. Hopefully doesn't have to use a fast repair here on the pit lane. But, if he doesn't, he could lose some time here and fall back with some track position.
Definitely, and everyone coming down pit lane this time, Daniel, I think they realized, there might have been only a few laps on tires, but they all saw the difference it made to have 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. So, we're going to line this up. Everybody's going to be on 4 fresh tires, and I think we're going to see more 3 wide racing.
Yeah, I think so. Everybody's going to get fresh tires here, and we actually could see this settle down. Maybe the little bit of the evenness on tires helps this settle down a little bit, but definitely when you got this racy of a track, it's hard to not, and you get these big runs, not to fall into that welcomingness of this racetrack being so wide.
Definitely, and it looks like I believe 86 of Brian Crocker going to stay out and be the leader unless he comes down pit lane this time. So, this could throw kind of a wrench in everyone's, strategy here, thinking they line up where they were coming down pit lane. But, if he's going to stay out, he's going to take over the lead of this thing.
Yeah, Nathan Nixon picks up a lot of spots on pit road. Not sure if he took 2 tires there or not. And also Kevin Winker, unless I wasn't seeing his name just before those stops, he picked up several spots as well.
Yeah, I think Winker had gotten around Michael York and Cole Martin before that yellow, but Nathan Nixon, we're hearing, took 2 tires this pit stop as well as the 42. So, these 2 drivers in the 33 and the 42, respectfully, taking 2 tires to get that, track position. So we'll watch that and see how it pays off on this restart.
Yeah, we didn't get much of a chance to watch Michael Madden on those 2 tires with some of those quick cautions. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a longer run here with these guys on 2 tires and see what they can do.
Definitely, and you got to be careful if you start taking 2 tires every time. You got to be aware you got to take 4 tires at some point because your left sides, they're going to get really worn out eventually if you're only taking right side tires. So, that's something these drivers are going to have to think about, especially if you're a guy, kind of right above that cut line. You don't want to, let that type of strategy call knock you out of this thing and have a shot at the championship of going into Texas and having an opportunity to, win $300 next week.
Yeah, I think some of the strategy you're gonna see here at the end of the race is gonna really depend on who it is making those calls. Somebody like Nathan Nixon up here, he's not in the playoffs. I don't believe he was really in the running for the second tier playoffs, so he's up here for all the glory and bringing home the race payout and the trophies. So definitely look for him to make some bold strategies, I think, if he's still up here when we get to the end.
Definitely, and you see Corey Saucier going to be the leader who's taking the outside again in that 3 truck. The pace truck is off, so it's going to leave it into the hands of Corey Saucier, who's going to get going at any moment here. When he chooses, Corey Saucier going to start pulling away here, going to clear Nathan Nixon, who is on those 2 tires, but two tires coming to his outside in that 42 truck of Kevin Winker. So we're going to have 2 guys possibly side by side funneling down into turn 1.
Yeah, and it was a wall of 2 tires there for Byron McDonald, but that's kind of cleared up as he's got a free look at the inside here, and he's going to pull up to the inside of Nathan Nixon, I believe, and Cole Martin's going to squeak to the outside here of Byron McDonald.
Yeah, you see Byron McDonald to the inside, Cole Martin to the outside, and Cole's got a driver with 2 tires in front of him, so you got to make sure you're careful of that because the 33 might have to check up, not able to get into the corner as deep as you, but they're going to be 3 wide coming off at turn 4. Cole Martin's going to go from the middle of the track all the way down to the inside, and he's going to try to run down someone he's accustomed to running down quite a bit this season, Corey Saucier, but I don't think he's going to get clear just yet into turn 1.
Not going to be clear going into 1, but clear now as we get into the middle of 1 and 2, but Byron McDonald with the run back off of 2 on the high side. He's going to get a little bit of a side draft on Cole coming off the top and have the run down the back.
Yeah, big run from the 23 on the outside, and then you see the 3 trucks in front of him. So he's getting the run off the top as well as the draft off the leader of Corey Saucier. And Cole Martin going to have the 18 truck of Bobby Anderson to his inside, who's trying to have a really strong day here to be able to try to get into that final 5. And we got a battle for the lead. They're going to be 2 wide across the stripe.
Yeah, Byron McDonald looking to the inside here of Corey Saucier, looking for that lead as he's going to dive it down here into 1 and clear the 3. See if he's makes the choice to slide up in front of him. He does a little bit. Corey going to cross him over and go back to the inside.
Oh, Michael York, contact from Bobby Anderson. Going to have a yellow flag, I believe. And there it is. Another yellow flag, going to be the 5th one tonight. 81 truck going around to the inside wall. Not too sure what happened there. He obviously got out of shape. And obviously we got another yellow flag.
Yeah, and another Sandwich Man Racing and Sports Memorabilia wreck replay again. I think you're just trying to get me to say this over and over, trying to get me tongue-tied here. But as we watch this replay, we're going to see the 81 getting up. Oh, yep, just makes a little bit of contact with the 18 of Bobby Anderson. Not sure if he got a little bit tight. That goes back to what I was saying, coming off of that very bottom lane. As you can see, the 18 down there on that lesser banking, he's going to come up and make that transition, and the truck just gets really tight when that happens and just pushes up into the 81.
Shot. Yeah, the 42 is going to have a lot of front-end damage. But yeah, to your point, it really flattens out on the inside of turn 2. And if you're not expecting it, it's going to make the car, get really tight like you saw there. Or the truck, I should say, like you saw with Bobby Anderson. Made a little bit of contact with the 81, and that's what sent him spinning around again. Michael Madden, man, the tongue twister of sports memorabilia, and as well as Michael Madden avoiding a wreck. every single yellow. It feels like we've been saying those two things together.
Yeah, I think so, man. If he hasn't yet, I think when this race gets over, he needs to go out and buy a lottery ticket, see if he can't hit the big one.
Definitely. And, Corey Saucier made a great move on Byron McDonald through 1 and 2 to be able to get the lead before that yellow flag came out. Corey was on the outside of Byron McDonald and was able to kind of cross him up because Byron had cleared him coming at it too. But then Corey got a big run, cut the truck down to the inside, and was able to cross over Byron McDonald to get back, get that 3 truck back out front.
Yeah, we've had some great racing up here for the lead, but we didn't get the chance because of that race for the lead to talk about. We said Bobby Anderson had to have a top 5 to feel like he had a shot at making the final 5 tonight, and here he is sitting in 4th place. So doing what he's got to do. I think we're going to maybe try to get him up here into the booth and see if we can talk to him.
Bobby Anderson, it's Jake Roel and Daniel Bowler up here in the SRM booth, buddy. How you feeling right now in 4th place here tonight?
Oh, feeling pretty good, brother. Trying to hold on to this top 5 here, try to make a run for this championship run up here.
Yeah, Bobby, we talked about earlier in the pre-race that for you to feel really good about your chances of making the top 5, you needed to have, or to make the top 5, you needed to have a top 5 tonight. Getting the job done so far. We've been seeing a lot of great racing out there, a lot of lanes being used, big runs coming. What's the strategy moving forward when you get those big runs? Do you take them? Do you try to force 3 and 4 wide, or what's that like when you're catching some of those other guys?
Well, in the top lanes is getting a real big run on the back stretch, so we're trying to make sure we're patient. Don't try to cut someone off and try to get caught in a wreck, and just take what we can get and just hold what we have.
Definitely.
All right, man.
Well, Bobby, we'll get you back down into your team channel. That way you can focus here. We got 1 to green. Good luck to you here the rest of this race, and hopefully we're talking to you after you have a podium finish here tonight.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Not a problem. There you go. I mean, for a guy that's on the outside looking in, Bobby Anderson, sounds really, really calm, cool, and collective. Knowing what he's got to do here tonight to get himself into that final 5.
Yeah, definitely focused. Probably a little bit hesitant about wanting to be in the booth, with the way these broadcaster curses have been. So I'm hoping that we talk about the broadcaster curse here, and that curse is the curse, and Bobby doesn't have any trouble.
Absolutely, and kind of interesting to see Corey take the inside after the last time he took the outside on the restart. So, it's interesting to see. Maybe he wants to see what it's like on the inside this time. That way, if, this comes down to a green-white checkered restart, Corey would know, what he prefers, what, makes himself feel more comfortable going into turn 1 on the initial start of a restart.
Yeah, definitely. Now's the time to learn. Just a little update on some of our playoff drivers as we look through the grid. I believe Jack Johnson is out of the race, so that's going to end his hopes for the final 5.
Definitely unfortunate for him. But back up front, Corey Saucier going to get going here really, really well. Again, able to clear Byron McDonald. He's going to bring Cole Martin along behind, who's going to clear Byron McDonald. So these two up front, going to try to hopefully, work with one another to pull away, because if they start racing side by side for too long, it's just going to create such a draft for these guys behind them that it's going to pull all these other drivers. You see here, these two guys side by side out of turn 2. It'll pull them right back up to the back bumpers of these two leaders.
Yeah, I feel like it's deja vu all over again, man. We got Corey Saucier out front, Cole Martin trying to run him down. As you see, Cole Martin trying to pull up to the back bumper here and see if he gets a run. But behind them, we got a 2-wide battle for 3rd. For 4th, Bobby Anderson holding on underneath Nathan Nixon.
Yeah, Byron McDonald got a huge run out of turn 4, able to get to the inside of Cole Martin and clear him as they go down into turn 1 before they even get to the entrance. Byron McDonald really going up high, going to really make that high side work this time through 1 and 2. Going to try to bring his teammate Nathan Nixon in the 33, going to try to get him clear of Cole Martin, but not right now. But Byron McDonald going to try to make a move to the inside of Corey Saucier as they set their sails down into turn 3. A little bit of side draft by that 23 on the 3, and he's going to be able to clear him as they get down into turn 3. So Byron McDonald up front, he knows he needs that Hail Mary, and what better way to do it and come out here and, win the race. But Corey Saucier is not going to let him, get away too easy. Corey's going to give him one heck of a fight, and that's just going to bring Cole Martin even closer behind him.
Yeah, these three racing really hard for the lead, but if you look back behind them, we're 2 and 3 wide racing for third. Cole Martin going to get stuck in the middle here. Not quite. He gets enough of a run to get back on the bobbin. Michael Madden coming out of nowhere here. He's on the outside with a nice run down the back.
Yeah, the 3 Rev Racing drivers right now in the top 5 with Byron McDonald leading it. Nathan Nixon looking to get P2 and Michael Madden right now in 5th, but probably going to clear Cole Martin to be able to get into 4th place. So that's 3 of the top 4 going to be Rev Racing trucks. So they clearly have their, their setup, so to speak, ready to go here tonight.
Yeah, Michael Madden really pushing Nathan Nixon down the straightaways there. Those two are teammates. Be interesting to see if those two are going to stick together and try to draft their way up towards the front. We talked about this being kind of similar with these trucks to Talladega and Daytona, as they're going to stay lined up coming down the backstretch with a big run up here to Byron McDonald.
Yeah, now what Corey Saucier wants to see, 3 teammates lined up to his outside, pushing each other down the straightaway is going to just give him such a big run that it's, impossible to defend if you're that 3 truck. But Bobby Anderson going to try to work the inside of Cole Martin, trying to get back up to 5th, but they're going to be side by side down the front. Cole Martin's going to follow the 3 Rev trucks, and Bobby Anderson going to be behind his teammate Corey Saucier on the inside. I think the high side right now, Daniel, is kind of where you want to be from what we've been seeing here early on on this restart.
Yeah, it's looking like it so far. We got 3 Rev Racing trucks on the outside, 2 R&D Motorsports trucks on the inside, trying to get it done. So far, that outside line really holding serve.
Definitely, and Byron McDonald's still going to be in the lead. They're going to come to lap 41. It means we're going to have 25 laps to go in the Great Lakes 130, and Michael Madden is all over his teammate Nathan Nixon's rear bumper coming out of turn 4. That is how hard they are pushing right now, trying to get clear of Corey Saucier, who's doing a heck of a job on the inside, battling these guys, making the inside work right now, able to kind of, keep him at bay with 2nd place with Nathan Nixon in that lime green truck.
Yeah, we're going to start to see here as we get a few more laps on these tires. What's this tire wear going to do with these big runs that these guys are getting? As you see, the R&D trucks are just struggling with the straightaway speed, I think, compared to the 3 Rev Racing trucks.
Definitely. I mean, and when these teammates are pushing each other, like this, it just makes it that much harder. Bobby Anderson isn't really able to get to Corey Saucier's bumper until kind of the end of the straightaway. And at that point, you're not getting as much of a run as these 3 guys.
Yeah, this is some really good racing.
Anderson got so close to that left rear quarter panel of Michael Madden.
Bobby getting really tight there. He's actually got to look to the outside of Corey Saucier as we go down the back here. These guys are going to be 3 wide heading down the back stretch and into 3 as they get it cleared up. Just going to be 2 wide now.
Yeah, they are racing right now, man. They are going all out right now. Travis Trevelyan right now in 8th place in that 71 truck, having a heck of a run so far early on here at Michigan International Speedway. They're looking to go almost 4 wide here as they cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, Brandon Domain clear down to the apron using every inch of the track he can with these runs. He's going to be on the inside of Corey Saucier trying to get up here and get into the battle.
Jose Castellanos caught the outside wall through 1 and 2 right there. No yellow flag, though, and we stay green. And I tell you what, Travis Trevelyan is going to try to make a pass here on this 51 truck and try to get to 5th place.
Yeah, I think if you watch this, everybody's starting to migrate up here towards the top as this run continues to go on. So that's definitely going to be a developing thing to see. Is that where the preferred line goes as these runs go on?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's kind of moved up, and you can see, the difference in it. These 3 guys up front, or on the high side in front of Michael Madden, who's kind of trapped on the inside right now, Bobby Anderson. Michael's going to have to lift quite a bit, trying to squeak in line, but Cole Martin's going to get a run, going to swing his truck to the inside, try to make a run on the inside of Michael Madden, but Michael's just going to get the draft, and eventually through 3 and 4, he's going to get a better run off the corner than Cole is on that inside. As right now, like you said, man, we have just seen that outside line prevail time in and time out of this thing so far.
Yeah, Cole Martin going to get the big run down into 3 and 4, but unable to make the pass. Michael Madden just going to get too big of a run to the outside, and if he's not careful, Travis Trevelyan's going to sneak right in there behind him.
Travis Trevelyan going to the inside of Cole Martin. Washed up a little bit, made Cole have to get up the track a little bit. And the top, oh, Travis Trevelyan got into the outside wall right in front of Corey Saucier. I'm not sure if they got too much damage from that. Trevelyan definitely made contact with the outside wall, but I don't know how much front end damage that 3 truck just got from getting into the rear bumper of Travis Trevelyan. And now that's kind of let the top 5 pull away by a bit. The gap between 5th to 6th right now is 0.6 seconds. So that little bit of contact kind of stalls everyone out up behind it, trying to avoid it. And it makes you wonder if these guys are going to be able to run them down at this point. You know, they've kind of gone quite a bit on these tires, so it's not so much a draft party as we've seen so far early on.
Yeah, we were almost 4 wide there. We got a yellow flag on the track here.
That's going to be Jason Crackey in the 54 truck. Looks like he's in the middle of 1 and 2 as the leaders are almost down into turn 3. So I'm not too sure what happened here with the 54, but we'll check it out once again with a wreck replay brought to you by Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia. It's going to be Walt Lipicki and I believe the 54 involved on this one.
Yeah, these guys going to be side by side coming down here into 1. Looks like both of them just went for the same spot for the entry of 1, just come together and unfortunately just sent them both up into the outside wall.
Yeah, it kind of looked like they were trying to side draft one another, and it might have been a little bit of net code that caused that 54 to go up into the outside fence, sandwiching the 10 truck into the outside wall with them. But that's going to bring out our, I believe it's our 6th yellow of the race. But that little bit of a green flag run, we're going to have 18 laps to go this time by, and I got to imagine everybody's going to be coming down pit lane for fresh tires and some fuel.
Yeah, have to be here, Jake. Don't think you can afford not to, especially after that run we had as we ride along here with Robert Yost on another view of that replay. He's kind of mired back here in the back. Not sure if he had a little bit of trouble earlier in the race to get trapped so far back, but does a nice job of avoiding that wreck as we see everybody coming down pit road.
Definitely. This very well could be the last time we see the leaders and the drivers up front, coming down pit lane to get service on their trucks. If this thing goes green all the way, obviously I think it's safe to say you'll make it on fuel. And then if we get some yellow flags, I just think track position is just way too important right now, with how racy this race has been. And sure, you can pass some trucks, but if you come down pit lane and you're mirrored back there in about 25th, that is a long mountain to climb back up to get back up front to the front.
Yeah, I think so. And as we see, I think Byron McDonald takes 2 tires here, so he's going to come out of the pits first. And Kevin Winker again on 2 tires. Those guys took 2 tires the last time, so those left sides really getting neglected. It's going to be interesting to see how those 2 hold up.
Definitely, and I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I would take 2 tires after, I think it was about a 10-lap run we had. We went back green flag at 36. Yellow flag came out on lap 46. So, yeah, that's, a 10-lap run.
You got to remember, those guys took 2 tires on the stop before that as well, so their left sides are even older than just 10 laps.
Yeah, I mean, that's the guy, right? We talked about it early on in the show. He needs that Hail Mary, that, Game 7 type performance. And this is what he's got to do. He's got to go for it. And obviously, it's not going to just be him winning it. He's going to need a ton of help from other guys having misfortunes here tonight. So, but if you're the 23 truck, you got to do what you got to do to get yourself that win. And just hope, all the rest of the, the pieces to the puzzle, fit at the end of this thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys time out as we see Byron McDonald dropping back. Not sure if we got a penalty here for either speeding on pit road or something. He's going to drop back. Maybe having computer trouble. We talked about him being on a laptop tonight.
Yeah, Bobby Anderson's going to be the lead here. I wonder, Daniel, could he have hit the ignition switch? Trying to type stuff out. Obviously, he doesn't have a headset, and it looks like he's towed. Wow.
Unfortunate for Byron McDonald having such a great run.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right there, Daniel. That
Not sure. Kind of fluttering there with the RPMs. Not sure if that's absolutely correct what was happening, but just pulls over and toes to the pits. So unfortunate for him. He is not going to make the final 5. So that's 2 drivers now that we have seen that are going to be out of this final 5 contention.
Definitely, and we just spoke on how he needed a Hail Mary, and unfortunately having that, that's gonna throw the lead to, I believe it's gonna be the 18.
I believe it'll be Nathan Nixon. Nathan Nixon was in second place there, I believe.
And we'll figure it out, and sure enough, the admin in the race, Danny Setzer, are gonna say the 33, you're the leader. He's gonna take the outside. Which is going to have Cole Martin, in 4th, but really restarting kind of 2nd because he'll be behind the leader. Interesting to see him take the outside with his teammate Michael Madden would have been restarting on the inside right behind him. So something to watch here. We're going to have 15 laps to go.
I think that's going to be a product of everybody running the outside there at the end of that run, just seeing how dominant that lane was. But I think one thing that's going to be interesting to see here as this run goes is early in the runs we saw the bottom line being very competitive with that outside line if you got the run right. So it's going to be interesting how long can you make the bottom work before you need to be getting to the outside. So for somebody like Bobby Anderson and Michael Madden, can you make this inside work here for a few laps and then get up to the outside where that lane was so dominant?
Definitely, and I think these guys that are, up front, I mean, you can't be holding anything back right now. We're going to have 15 to go. If the yellow comes out, it comes out, but it is go time here for the Great Lakes 130. Nathan Nixon going to wait for the pace truck to peel off, and it's going to be in his hands to get this thing back under green.
Yeah, Nathan Nixon going to bring him back here to the line. Bobby Anderson in 2nd. It would be very important for Bobby Anderson if he can get up here and lead a lap, because he was only 2 points out of the cut line, and Matthew Johnson was the cut line. He's now sitting in 10th, so these two very close on the racetrack. Bobby needs to finish at least 3 positions, I believe.
Matt Johnson, a little bit of contact, Michael Madden, a little bit of contact from Jonathan Byer in the 66, but Cole Martin going to go to the inside, and Nathan Nixon down the backstretch going to make a move for the lead. Bobby Anderson making a move. Here comes Jonathan Byer, going to go to the inside of Bobby Anderson. He's going to make it a look at inside of Cole Martin as well.
Jonathan Byer not happy with the way the race ended for him last week. He's going to get back up here, see if he can do it this week. Kevin Winker a little bit out of shape, but I believe he saves it. But we're going to stay green. Jonathan Byer clear down on the apron, trying to use all this track he can to cut the distance. He's going to be inside Cole Martin as we go down into 1.
Yeah, they're going to be side by side. You're going to see Byer get a run through the center of the corner. Oh, he's going to wash up. Cole Martin and him are going to make a little bit of contact, but they don't spin out or anything like that from netcode. But there's the bump from Nathan Nixon to Cole Martin, who's going to try to get himself clear of the 66. But Nathan Nixon now to the outside of Jonathan Byer. But Byer gets a run through the first half of the corner on the inside, but then naturally that high side where you can keep that truck wound up, you're really able to keep the speeds up and get the better run down the straightaways.
Yeah, Jonathan Byer doing everything he can to be able to stay up here and battle for the lead. He really needs somebody to be behind him on these straightaways to help push him down, but as you're going to see these front 2 clear him actually down here into 1, but he's going to battle back on the inside.
Oh, Nathan Nixon all over the rear bumper of Cole Martin. Going to make both those trucks unsettle there. 33 truck is working hard to get around this 51 truck for the lead, but he's going to stay right behind him and push him as they head down into turn 3.
Yeah, Bobby Anderson with a big run down into 3 here. Let's see what he's going to be able to do as we come off of 4. Michael Madden right on his tail with a big run. Bobby Anderson with the run. As he look to the inside of the 33? No, he's going to push him down the front stretch.
It is a 4-car breakaway on the high side, pushing one another. I feel like I'm at Talladega or Daytona, but the 33 again to the inside. The 18 truck goes. They're going to be 3 wide here through 1 and 2. Cole Martin going to be stuck in the middle. The 18 truck starting to wash up. The 33 to the outside, and Cole Martin, he clears them and going to get another big push from behind, and he's going to get clear of these guys again.
Jonathan Byer dives clear down the inside. Not sure if he got a little bit out of shape there. The 18's going to be still looking for second place down here on the inside. As the 66 is looking to make it 3 wide here off of 4. Not going to have it.
Definitely, this is intense racing right here. The 33 again, all over the rear bumper. The 51 as they head into 1.
Yeah, he's going to look a little bit high, see if he can get that late arc off the corner, maybe make a move to the inside. As he does, he's going to get the inside of Cole Martin here and should have a little bit of a run down the back. As we're wrecking behind Brandon Domain.
Oh, Brandon Domain involved in a wreck. The yellow flag going to come out. Wow, and that's a guy who was barely in by a few points on the cut line.
Gonna be a big development there, but we did run about 10 laps on the tires again, or not quite, but very close. It's gonna be interesting to see, does somebody come down pit road here up close to the front as we watch this replay here. Looks like the 91 maybe gets up into Corey Saucier too as well. He ends up in the outside wall.
Wow, I mean that affected these guys are battling to get in the playoffs. Corey Saucier involved, Brandon Domain involved. Cortez barely misses the 20 truck there who was spinning to the inside fence. Wow, I mean, again, thankfully for Brandon Domain, we're at lap 56 to 65 coming to 57. So he's going to have some laps here to make up some of these points, but that is that is just not what you want to see if you're that 20 truck right now in this race.
No, it's definitely not. I'm sure he's going to bring it down pit road, going to use that fast repair and get back out there and, make up as many spots as he can here late in this race. But definitely going to put you a little bit on edge, make you a little bit nervous, especially with Bobby Anderson only being 2 points out of the cut line and being in 5th place.
Definitely we see some of these drivers try to fake some guys out, come down pit lane maybe, things like that. But no one up front except for Corey Saucier, it looked like, in the top 10 came down pit lane, but he has severe damage on the right side of that truck from getting into the outside wall from the 91. So, but up front, 33, Nathan Nixon, Cole Martin's going to be 2nd, Michael Madden in 3rd, Jonathan Byer 4th, and Bobby Anderson's going to be in 5th place.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing on this restart's going to be Jonathan Byer. We saw him with a big run, try to go for the lead, just didn't have anywhere to go, but going to be starting on the outside this time. So up there in that preferred line, we'll see if he can figure out how to make it work and try to make up for last week.
Definitely, and I tell you what, I mean, Jonathan Byer kind of shot out of a rocket that last restart out of nowhere, and he was up there battling for the lead. I tell you, this 66, he's got nothing to lose. Same with the 33 and Nathan Nixon. What better way to go into the second to last race, win, and steal a win and, kind of spoil the party for some of these playoff drivers.
Yeah, you go back the last couple of weeks, somebody, if you'd been watching this ticker throughout the races, one thing you was seeing was just the top 10 just full of green highlighted drivers, all these playoff drivers being in the top 10, and there barely being anybody outside the playoffs that were up there. But look at it this week. I mean, only 5 drivers in the top 10 for the playoffs. The rest of them are all outside of the playoffs already, so that is definitely a big difference and is definitely going to shake up the points.
Oh, it definitely is, and it's going to make our statistician Sean Griffith have a lot of work to do real quick here. Hopefully, at the conclusion of this race, we'll be able to tell you who the final 5 drivers will be, and we're going to have a short run here to the finish if this thing stays green. I believe they've gotten the 1 to green. It looks like, can't really tell from the view. I think the Pace Lights trucks are off.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe we're going to be 1 to green here. Should be getting ready to go back. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to say the guy on the outside going into 3 on the last lap will be our winner, barring a wreck.
Definitely. It has proven all night long that outside, just that run to the checkered flag could really pay off. But I think the 66 of Jonathan Byer's got a great shot again at this win. I mean, he was super aggressive on that last restart trying to get up to the front. Now he's going to be restarting 4th he'll be behind the leader, Nathan Nixon. So you got to imagine he's going to get a good jump on Cole Martin on the outside. So the 66 could end up, going into turn 1 already second place, get a huge run down the back, and try to make a move on the 33, into turn 3.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I want to shout out here real quick. We saw him having some trouble earlier in this race. Looked like it was just going to go completely south for him. The 91 of Kyle Wimble's up here in 6th.
Yeah, and 5th place right now, Bobby Anderson, another guy that needed a great night. Matt Johnson recovered nicely. He's in 9th place. But up front, Nathan Nixon going to pull away from the leaders, and Jonathan Byer kind of didn't really get that restart he kind of needed to get himself clear. The 51 of Cole going to be able to clear into 2nd place as they head down into turn 1. They're all going to be following that lime green truck of the 33 of Nathan Nixon.
Yeah, we're not gonna follow him for long, as everybody's gonna dive to the bottom, try to protect that real estate there. As Michael Madden's actually gonna clear the 66 and slide up here in front of him. Be interesting to see what he does with the run down the back. I believe he's gonna just stay in line.
Yeah, I think you got to. We've seen it. That low side is not really where you want to be. The high side provides such a run. If you're that 2nd or 3rd place truck and you try to get down now, it's only going to allow you to, kind of get swallowed up by all these trucks. Cole Martin going to get to the outside of the 33, while Michael Madden going to go the inside of Cole Martin.
Yeah, Michael Madden going to jump out of line here, try to make something happen. Not content with just following in a line, as Jonathan Byer, he's going to try to put his truck up here and sneak in line, but Michael's going to slide up in front of him. Michael Madden going to try to stay too wide. Not going to happen. Nathan Nixon drops down to the bottom to block any runs. Back up to the top. We got a yellow on the track. Brandon Domain again. Hate to see that for him. Having such a great race, and now he's going to end up back here as we see Travis Trevelyan and Walt Lipicki also involved. We're going to pull up another Sandwich Man Racing and Sports Memorabilia rec replay here. Not sure what happened.
Oh, Walt
Lipicki and the 71 get together.
And obviously, I think Brandon Domain, man, was just wrong place at the wrong time. Trying to make through here. So you see it happen right here in front of him. 71 and 10 definitely make some contact, and
not sure what got Brandon Domain turn there. Must have been somebody checking up a little bit further back here.
I think it's going to be friendly fire. I think his teammate 71's going to come sliding down the track, and Brandon's got nowhere to go.
Yeah,
and sure enough, I think the engine blew, and he's not going to be able to make it around to pit lane. He's going to have to tow.
That is going to be heartbreak for Brandon Domain. He's got it fired back up there anyway.
Yeah, it looks like he is rolling, actually. So, I think he's only used one fast repair, so he's going to be able to come down here, get a fast repair, and he's just going to have to go all out here on this restart that we're going to get, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last one.
Yeah, probably not, but it's going to be, not very many laps to go. Going to be tough for him to make up very many spots here. I'm just looking. He was 7 points ahead of Bobby Anderson, so definitely in danger here if he can't make up too many spots.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's he's going to need to pick off a ton of trucks to just cover any sort of difference between him and those guys that were behind him. This is just kind of what can happen at these cutoff races, and that's why every single race it's so important to get as many points as possible if you're one of these playoff drivers. I mean, it firsthand in the Xfinity Series what that meant for you. Going into Dover and having the night you had there to be able to move on to the second round.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, every point matters. Not sure, speaking of that, if Brandon Domain, while he was up front, was able to lead a lap or not, but that would be huge for him. Give him that one more point to try and help, keep his spot in the final 5 moving forward. But I can't remember if he was up front and actually officially led a lap or not.
I do believe he was up front and led a lap. I vividly remember that 20 truck taking a lap led. So to your point, you're right. He 1 extra point, so that's just kind of one less truck he'll have to get by. So he's gonna have to put in some qualifying laps, so to speak, here, because I think we're going to have a natural green-white checkered once this thing gets back going, green flag.
Yeah, we come by the line here. We're actually 1 to go right now, I believe. So as we come back around, yes, it'll be a green-white checker, but I don't think it will actually count as one of the 3.
Nope,
So
yeah,
we have
exactly right. This is
possibly 4 attempts.
right. This will be a natural. We're 3 to go. We'll get 2 to go as we get the green flag. But if the yellow comes out, we will still have 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. So this thing is far from over. I got to imagine we're going to see 3, 4 wide into 1 and 2, possibly again into 3 and 4. Guys just going all out, trying to get all the spots they can get for these playoff drivers. When you see some of these guys, in that top 5 kind of having rough nights, you just, that's why it's really never over until we see that checkered flag here at this race.
Yeah, I don't think that you're going to see anybody from third back trying to make these dives to get the lead here. I guess I say that, and we have Jonathan Byers sitting in 4th. Definitely see him being aggressive, but I think you just can't afford to, unless you're one of those, unless you're in the second place position here, to get a run and try to make a dive bomb. I think if you try to step out of line too early, you're going to get stuck down there on the bottom, and that outside's just going to go by you. So it's going to be really interesting to see who makes that move and when.
Definitely. And right now, if it was hold, Brandon Domain would be out of the final 5 by 10 points. So that's how many spots that 20 truck needs to get here on this restart. And the leaders kind of spin their tires as they get back onto the gas. Nathan Nixon didn't really get a good jump, but they're going to be 3 wide behind Cole Martin and Nathan Nixon. Bobby Anderson to the inside, going to make Michael Mann be in the middle of a 3 wide battle here. He's going to go to the inside of Cole Martin, try to get P2.
Oh, it's going to get really tight here. Bobby Anderson down there. He's going to have to make that transition as we talked about. He comes back up on the track. They do it beautifully. They're going to stay 3 wide down the back, almost make contact with Michael Madden in the middle again. Fighting
Michael
for
Madden
every
going to get
inch.
to the inside of Cole Martin. He's going to probably really try to send it to clear Cole off of turn 4. But his teammate's going to be up front leading this thing unless we see a yellow flag here out of turn 4.
Nathan Nixon loving every second of this. We got guys wrecking behind him.
Make it to the white, though.
No caution.
The white flag is out.
This will be your last lap, whether we have a caution or not. Nathan Nixon trying to hold that front position. He's going to dive it clear to the bottom. I don't know if that's going to be the answer. Michael Madden's going to have a big run down the back here. Bobby Anderson looking to the inside, though.
Michael Madden's going to get a huge run on his teammate here to the inside if he's going to swing it down to the inside to get the win, but Nathan Nixon going to block it. Oh, they're wrecking Michael Madden.
Michael
That's
Madden
exactly what Brandon Domain needs to see. Guys like that getting, involved to be able to make up some points.
Yep. Oh, big wreck
Come on,
behind.
huge wreck behind the field. Corey Saucier involved.
Nathan Nixon is going to win this race.
Wow. They're still not done wrecking. Oh my goodness.
Byron McDonald on his lid. I believe that was Byron McDonald.
It was that 23 truck. My, oh my. I mean, Michael Mann ended up finishing 14th. We saw him going into the final quarter and final corner, second place. And that's just, how quickly it can all unfold in front of you right there. Wow. As you can see, all the smoke out in front of these drivers out of 3 and 4. And these guys just got nowhere to go. And then you got to factor in these playoff guys not wanting to lift across the line to, try to grab as many spots as possible. And this is what caused Byron McDonald to flip a little kind of glitch in iRacing. They hit the wall and it kind of rubber bands them off. But Nathan Nixon and Daniel Bowler are going to burn it down. Going to win the Great Lakes 130. That 33 truck from Rev Racing going to grab another win on the season. So, it obviously a heck of a drive there by the 33. He's not in the top 10 of the playoffs, but able to kind of spoil the party as the entire top 3 actually. They're not even in the playoffs, and they outperform our playoff drivers.
Yeah, Jake, we have 3 playoff drivers finishing in the top 10 in this race. How backwards is that from the rest of this season?
Yeah, it's a completely shocking final lap here at Michigan International Speedway. It's the type of racing, we expected to see here, but we're going to run you down through these standings here. First place going to be Nathan Nixon from Rev Racing. Second place going to be Jonathan Byer from Jonathan Byer Racing. Third place going to be Vincent Cortez. He's going to, make his lead even bigger in that second tier playoffs. Then you got Cole Martin in fourth place from Roel Smith Racing. And in fifth place, Kyle Wimble, again from Jonathan Byer Racing in fifth.
Yeah, and in sixth place, we're going to have Bobby Anderson from R&D Motorsports. Taylor Smith coming home in the seventh position for SRN. Michael York for RSR going to come home in the eighth position. I believe Evan Scott going to be in the ninth position. And Brian Crocker is going to round out our top 10.
I tell you what, obviously we don't know the math yet, but I just scroll even further down these standings. Corey Saucier in that 3 truck finished 29th place.
Yeah, that's gonna be tight for him, I believe. I don't think anybody was necessarily completely safe. He is gonna have a lap led for sure going for him. Man, this could be a huge shakeup.
Oh, it absolutely is. But we're going to go ahead and bring up our third place finisher of the night. That's going to be Vincent Cortez from Tank Racing. Vincent, it is Jake Roel and Daniel Ballard here in the Speed Racing Network booth, buddy. How you doing? You come home P3 tonight. You were the leader of the second tier playoffs. You're only going to grow that lead. How you feeling after that finish? Vincent Cortez, you got a copy?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my mic's muted. Lost for words, man. I was running like P7 one corner. I'm running P3, so it's crazy, man. Michigan's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. We saw a wild finish there at the end. We talked about you being in the lead of the Tier 2 playoffs and only going to grow that lead. And, where's that put your mindset here moving forward as we go into the last race of Texas?
Well, I'm hoping that it pretty much wraps it up, but I'm just thinking about next season. I'm moving up to Xfinity, so that's really where the mindset's at. Missed the playoffs, so yeah.
Definitely. Well, you come home third place, so you're able to grow that lead for the second tier. So I got to imagine going into Texas, it's going to be pretty tough to catch you for that. But before we let you go, buddy, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Of course, I would like to thank everybody at Team Tank Racing. They're a really good group of guys. Devin Zimmerman, he put this truck together basically last minute. There's a really good message on it. Like thank Red Bull, Hooters, Common Sense Supplements. Really, everybody's really gotten me. There's a lot of people, so just thanking all of them.
Definitely, buddy. Well, we'll get you back down to the Tank Racing channel. Enjoy this third place finish, and we'll see you next season in the season finale at Texas Motor Speedway.
Thank you.
All right, Daniel. Well, that was third place. That means we're going to have second place, which is going to be that 66 truck of Jonathan Byer for Jonathan Byer Racing. Jonathan, it is Jake Roel and Daniel Ballard up here in the Speed Racing Network booth. I got to imagine you're pretty thrilled about coming home P2. These last few weeks we've been seeing you have a ton of speed, leading laps. I know you were probably one spot short of where you wanted to finish, but that second place, man, how does it feel?
Good. Take second. Not a win, but it's kind of a nice rebound from last week. Not having fuel issues this week, but I'm happy with how the team did tonight. As you know, we had a couple guys right there on the fence, and they gave it their best performance as well. So we're hoping we can get a few JBR representatives in the playoffs, but all in all, a pretty good night for us.
Yeah, Jonathan, we saw you come in there on one of those later restarts and just have a heck of a run and almost get clear to the lead. Just walk us through when you get those big runs, what it was like when you'd catch those guys and just trying to decide where to go with those.
Yeah, I mean, these trucks, the way they drive here, you can pretty much hold it wide open. And so if you're able to get a bunch of momentum, especially around the top, and get a good pull, get a good draft, you can really swing by a lot of trucks. And I kind of laid back just a touch on that restart, and I got a good push from behind me and helped me get by those guys in front. But if you don't have any help behind you, you see what happens if you get stuck there on the bottom. You just kind of go backwards. But all in all, it was a good effort there. Just wish maybe we could have had one more to give it another shot.
Definitely. It's been very, very evident that, these last, Dover, Charlotte, here tonight, you've got the speed. So, I would be thrilled to see you go into next week at Texas and giving it your all to kind of end out the season. That obviously there's been some up and downs of it, but to finish that with a win, I know you'd be thrilled to have that happen. So, before we let you go, Jonathan, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all our team partners that have helped us out this season. Bolify, Black Acid Racing Apparel, Allison Parts, Matt's Extreme Sim TV. Go watch his broadcast over there. He does really good work. Texas Rangers Fanatics. All the help we get, we're extremely grateful for. And we're ready to make some announcements as far as who we're bringing on next season. So stay tuned for that. But now we just keep our fingers crossed that we're able to get some teammates there in the playoffs.
Definitely, buddy. We'll enjoy P2. We'll be seeing you out next week at Texas Motor Speedway for the final race of the year.
Thank you. Home track for me, so hopefully I can give it a really good run, and maybe that'll be the time we win one.
There you go. That home cook and could lead Jonathan Byer and bring JBR its first win of the year. And we will see you next week, a week from today at Texas.
Thank you.
All right, Daniel, that means we got one last man to interview tonight. It's going to be that 33 truck of Rev Racing. That's going to be Nathan Nixon. Going to get him up here in the booth to interview the winner. Nathan, it is Jake Rowell and Daniel Ballard up here in the SRM booth, man. You get it done here at Michigan International Speedway. You spoil the party for all these playoff drivers. Kind of, talk us through what your plan of attack was here tonight at MIS.
Yeah, it was. This was a pleasant surprise. I thought I had a good one in practice, and I went to qualify, and I think, was it 26 I qualified, and I was a little concerned. And a couple two-tire stops got me track position, and that was when it was Byron, me, and Michael Madden were all up there. So I was happy they were going to have a good team day. And then whatever happened with Byron, that sucks, because I feel like that was his race to lose. But after that, it was protect that high line.
Yeah, definitely. Through the middle of the season here, Nathan, we've kind of been struggling to see you at times, and then we'll see you back up at the front, and through some misfortune, not of your own or not of your doing, you end up back in the back. And the last time we actually seen you clear up here this far in the front was we got to go all the way back to the road course that you won earlier this season. And I got to say, I had the terrible feeling of watching you drive away to the checkered flag that time. So what's it mean for you to get back here to victory lane and get that momentum going back on the right direction?
It feels great. I did have a rough last, 5-6 weeks. I work trip, then all of a sudden I closed on my house and no internet, and so just a bunch of stuff. So this feels good, and now I'm not just the road course guy, so that's good too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's good to see you back up here up front where we know you can be, and hopefully that gives you some momentum running into next season. So, but before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank?
Just always Adam Pettit for the opportunities here, and all my teammates. It's been a great season. Getting the communication down the way we have is something I ain't experienced before. So, and I think our team point standings show it. So.
All right, buddy. Well, definitely congratulations on the win, man. We'll let you get back down there to your team and enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Great broadcast.
Appreciate it, buddy. Congrats on the win. Well, Daniel Ballard, that was our winner down in victory lane. That's Nathan Nixon, but we're going to show you a slide here. It's going to be our final drivers that are going to advance to Texas Motor Speedway. We're going to have a tie on the cut line, which means we're going to have 6 drivers. So let's go through this list. First place is going to be Cole Martin from Rowell Smith Racing. Then you see Michael Madden in second from Rev Racing.
Yeah, and in third place, you're going to see Bobby Anderson. He did enough. He's in. He's going to make that final 5, now 6. Kyle Wimble going to do the same thing, man. We talked about him. He was going to have a really good night, and earlier in the night, he was all over the track, not in a good way, but he's going to do enough right here at the end to make it into the final 6. Corey Saucier with that late wreck gonna slide all the way back to 5th and almost fall out of the playoffs. We talked about that one important bonus point he had when he led those laps. That's gonna save him and keep him in here in the final 6 for the championship. So huge for him to go up there and lead that lap earlier in the race. And 6th place, we're gonna see Matthew Johnson doing just enough to squeak his way in, like he's always done, man. Like you said earlier, you just cannot bet against him.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you were any of these playoff drivers, you saw that final race results, and you saw Corey Saucier down in 29th, you were probably kind of happy thinking he'd be out of it. I tell you what, that 3-truck Texas Motor Speedway, he is fast on those 1.5 miles. They are gonna be a little uneasy when they see Corey Saucier was able to get in this thing by leading a lap here tonight. I tell you what, this final 6 right here, this is going to be a great race. We've got the 3 of Cole Martin, Michael Madden, and Corey Saucier in it, and then we got guys that were able to jump up into the final 6 with Bobby Anderson and Kyle Wimble needing those nights that they needed to have here tonight. So this 6 drivers, it's only going to add even more drama having another driver in this thing to follow along and see who's going to crown themselves as the first Speed Racing Network Series Truck Series champion next week at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and we talk about these top 6, but let's not forget these other guys here. You're going to have Brandon Domain with just an absolute heartbreaker of an end of a race. They're going to fall just short of making the final 6. He's going to come home 7th here for the points. Look for him. Hopefully go to Texas, bounce back, and have another one of those great finishes like we know he's able to do. And Robert Yost, he's one of those great stories we've had all year long. It's just going to finally, that Cinderella story is going to finally come to an end here. He's going to come home 8th place here. And Byron McDonald, we followed his struggles, man. He had a really good race going. Looked like maybe he was going to be able to do what he could to get in. A little bit of technical difficulty there in the middle of the race. We're really not sure what that was or anything, but he's going to come up a little short. And then we have Josh Mueller and Jack Johnson, who were out of this race a little bit earlier on in the running, so they're going to fall a little bit short as well. But nonetheless, some great competitors here that just didn't quite cut it and move on to the final 6. But we're happy to have them with us here this whole season.
Definitely. But now we go on to our next race for the Truck Series, which is going to be that championship race, the Big Money Texas 130, going to be at Texas Motor Speedway. Make sure you come back next Wednesday, June 9th at 9:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see who we have as our champion here in the Truck Series for Speed Racing Network. This thing is going to have as much drama, I think, as this last lap did here tonight at Michigan.
Oh, I absolutely think so. I mean, you got 6 guys that are very capable of winning that race. At any moment they could be up there in the lead or having trouble. So it's going to really be interesting.
Definitely. And the drama we saw here tonight, we're going to have it all again tomorrow night for the series you run in, which is going to be Speed Racing Network's Xfinity Series. Going to be the final race of the second round of the playoff round of 10. It's going to be the Great Lakes 150 here again tomorrow night, June 3rd at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Michigan International Speedway. Kind of give us, the fans at home, kind of a little insight of what you expect here tomorrow night.
I think it's going to be pretty wild, just very similar to these trucks, man. I mean, you got some guys that are knocking on the door of being able to get in, some guys that got to make some really big moves to be able to get in. So I think you're going to see a lot of big moves, a lot of big runs, very similar to tonight, a lot of chaos. I'm hoping myself to personally avoid some of that stuff, but as we should see, I'm sure Corey Saucier thought he was doing a good job avoiding it too, and, he barely makes it in. So definitely can't let your guard down till that checkered flag waves.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw it here. The final lap kind of unraveled in front of us, and we had guys that weren't looking like they were going to get in, taking the white, end up squeaking their way into it after the checkered flag wave. So make sure you tune in for that. But from all of us here at Speed Racing Network, we always remind you, go faster.